So if you're someone that got stuck on this and it's just 24/7, it's all about this and you know everything about it, yeah, you're not going to want to watch this video. Not that I support these, I don't. But again, I'll say I don't believe everything that we're being told at all about it. I think that these were used, there's a whole network of people, RFK, many of them. Um, and I'm going to say why, because this goes back to Saul Alinsky and your Bill Ayers types. And these are master manipulators. And I don't think people are seeing how this was being used as a, I'm not saying, I don't support them. But I think the stuff they want to bring in is that they wanted you to think a lot more about this than what it is. This one anyway, this past one. Because while they keep you stuck there, um, they're advancing their agenda. So you move on if because I know there's a ton of people on TikTok and out everywhere. They're way brainwashed. I'm not going to get into arguments with you. I get, oh yeah, I go past the cemetery. I know all these people. Yeah, you know what? People die every day too. So my point being is that part of the way this operation works is they're able to brainwash you so well that you'll see it in your own family. Oh, yes, this has happened to them. Really. I'm not saying that I think it's the ones coming down the line with all the technology stuff, but they want to keep as long the whole goal of Alinsky and Ayers, they're so great at master manipulation, all these people. And once you see it, you see it. Like it's really obvious. Because it's all about keeping people stuck. And so everybody knows at least the basics that if they get control of healthcare, this is all part of Alinsky in his book, Rules for Radicals. If they get a hold of your healthcare system, which they do, they control you. I saw this happening years ago with all the monopolies of the hospital, and I was like, oh, this isn't good. This is just so not good. And that's why they've been able to cut staff, and the unions get on board with that. The unions know. The unions are, they're like a tool of your Bill Ayers and those types. So, and I'm not going to get into arguments about that with people either. I'm tired of it. It's like you either want to see the truth or you want to get stuck and protect your union that in the end isn't going to be any protection to you. But so I really just want to focus on what the manipulation here is. So obviously their goals, which they've gotten a lot of them, control healthcare. They have that, keep more people in poverty. They've been doing that for a long time. They do that to disempower. And then those are great people then to enrage and get mad. And then they can organize them the same way they do with this. Yeah, that's why I don't. So, but focusing strictly on what Saul Alinsky the tactics he uses for organizing, okay, for organizers. The organizer's first job is to create the issue or problem, okay? So we all know that. I mean, anybody who's awake knows they create the crisis, they create the problem. Do you not think this was also creating yep, it was. Because, I mean, if you believe Trump, it's not like he carried on like to worry about it. He tried to let people know, yes, in some of his tweets, but, I mean, like with the quotation, but it wasn't something he was overly, like it was like he had it handled. So, but a bunch of people that are Trump supporters, just they believe, yes, they believe their relative died and it's all because of this, although they don't know that for sure. But I'm not going to argue with those people because that's where you can't, it's no use. There's just some people, they're just, like I said before, there's some that are too far gone. You'll never get them to believe that the mainstream media would lie to them. And then there's the other that are in the new network of people, RFK, a bunch of them, that have people trapped there. There's no, like I said, pray for them. There's no hope. Yeah, I get, two can be true. No, and this is why I don't believe that, because there's been so much focus on this, so much in that network that it's designed to entrap you. So, believe it or not, either way, it makes no difference to me. Next. The organizer's first job is to create issues and problems, and organizations must be based on many issues. And this is an example of what you saw with the hospitals when George Floyd died. It was almost like they knew it was coming. They were all ready to put out their letter. At least in Illinois, all the hospitals signed on to that. The new public health crisis is systemic racism, a big lie. But this was all part of your Bill Ayers. And considering that, Bernadine Dorn worked at Northwestern, it's no surprise that Northwestern was so on board with this full boat, nor University of Illinois Chicago, but all the hospitals were. They put out a big letter, put in BLM in big letters, letting you know this is where we stand. We're nothing but communists. Next, the organizer must first rub raw the resentments. Yes. Oh, what did this do? Oh, I had family die. I had this person. No, I've seen. There's all these people. I mean, this people saying, and I'm not trying to be critical here, but honestly, people saying I drove past the cemetery. There's more graves. It's the same thing they were doing during COVID, like with putting the semis outside the hospital, and I mean, you have to think. So the organizer must rub raw the resentments of the people of the community, fan the latent hostilities of many of the people to the point of overt expression. Yep. He must search out controversy and issues. Yep. Controversy and issues. Yep. He must search out controversy and issues rather than avoid them, for unless there is controversy, people are not concerned enough to act. An organizer must stir up dissatisfaction and discontent. And the whole reason is to act. Alinsky was a firm believer that people that don't act have no moral compass, except he didn't even know what a moral compass was, so he can talk really good about it in his books, really, he can, or Bill Ayers, but they're nothing but sociopaths. Their goal, like, these are people that are so discontent just in themselves in general, that even if they had their utopia, they still wouldn't be happy. What makes them happy is to control others, direct them as a herd, and then get them to act in some way to go after their government. So you see, you push this enough, you push enough craziness about this, okay? And there's a whole network of RFK people doing that. Then what you will do is you will create discontent, dissatisfaction, and then hopefully then your sociopaths like your Bill Ayers, your Alinskys, although he's dead, but Obama's, all those people, that Hillary, that bowed at the feet of Alinsky, which really is bowing at the feet of Lucifer, because he dedicated his book to Lucifer, literally. Rules for Radicals was dedicated to Lucifer. You will fall right in line, and then you'll go after your government. You've seen people try to agitate this situation. You don't want to do that. That's what they hope for. That's why Alinsky is all about people that watch horrors go on and don't act, or immoral. Well, that's true to a certain example, but from the term what he's talking about, he's talking wanting it on a mass scale, and he was very good in Chicago at pulling people in, a lot of union members. Yep, that's what unions are for, to use you somewhere down the line. Alinsky said, hell would be heaven for me. All my life I've been with the have-nots. Over here, if you're a have-not, you're short of dough. If you're a have-not in hell, you're short of virtue. Once I get into hell, I'll start organizing the have-nots over there. Well, maybe he's in hell as we speak. He also, this was his dedication to Lucifer. Lest we forget it, at least an over-the-shoulder acknowledgement to the very first radical from all our legends, mythology, and history, and who is to know where mythology leaves off and history begins, or which is which. The first radical known to man who rebelled against the establishment and did so effectively that he at least won his own kingdom, Lucifer. Yeah. So that's where his head was at. But it's manipulation. So that's why I've said I've seen a ton of people get trapped here. And I even people that, they're trying, but they still, I think this was used to make you think a bunch of stuff. So it would keep you stuck. because they do this really good. But I think it's the ones they want to bring in with technology and all that that were the ones to worry about. Otherwise, I think that there would have been more concern on Trump's end. So yeah, go ahead, get in my comment section and make all the nasty comments you want. It's fine. But